So here we are going to write regular expressions for the given problem statements. So we'll see the first example. Set of all strings that start with A over summation is equal to A comma B. So input is given in terms of A and B, and it should consist of all the strings that start with A. So before writing the regular expression, we can note what all strings will be present in the language. So we can just note down language of the given regular for the expression will have strings starting with A. So single A is also a string starting with A. A, B, we can have A, we can have, then we can have triple A, we can have A followed by B followed by A. This is also a string starting with A and many more. So this language consists of strings starting with A, and then you can have anything, any combination of A's and B's. So if you remember, we had seen in the definition, any combination of A's and B's is given by A plus B the whole star. So this we will be using in our regular expression along with the operations like union and concatenation. So in this case, we will require concatenation. So it is starting with A. So A is compulsory, followed by concatenation, and then we will have any combination of A's and B's. So our answer would be R is equal to A dot A plus B the whole star. So suppose we get epsilon, this is A plus B the whole star. So if you remember A plus B the whole star, we'll get epsilon string of length 0, then A, B, A, B, B, A. So if we see here, it will be A dot epsilon. So epsilon is string of length 0. So A dot epsilon is nothing but A. So A dot epsilon is nothing but A. Then A is present followed by A, from A plus B the whole star. Suppose we get A. So we'll get the combination AA. From A plus B the whole star, suppose we get B. So we'll get the string AB and so on. So this regular expression will take care of all the strings that can be generated for this particular problem. Set of all strings that start with A over summation is equal to A comma B. We'll see the next example. So you'll have to practice more examples so that it will be more clear. Here it is given, write a regular expression, RE stands for regular expression, for a set of all strings that start with X or Y. So here we are having starting with X or Y. First case it was starting with A. Over summation equal to X comma Y. So our input is in terms of X and Y. So this we are writing for our reference so that we can check. So starting with X, so it can be single X also, we can have XY also, or starting with Y, we can have single Y followed by YX. We can also have XX, we can also have YY. So many combinations are possible. They are starting with X or starting with Y. So whenever this or comes in, no, it can be represented by plus. So this is also A or B in the previous question. Now, how it is in the previous case, it is starting with A. So we'll have starting with X followed by something, starting with Y followed by something. And we can have any of these. So either it is starting with X or starting with Y. So the regular expression will be given by, if it is starting with X, we can have any combination of X and Y. So it will be X dot X plus Y the whole star, concatenation, plus, or is given by plus Y dot X plus Y the whole star. So this is the regular expression for a set of all strings that start with X or start with Y. So if you write down the strings that will get generated, it becomes easier for us to write the regular expression. So it's not compulsory that you have to start with the regular expression. Both the things you should write. So we can start with the strings. So third question is set of all strings that ends with either 0 or 1. So here it is ending. Earlier it was starting. So if we see something is present, then it ends with 0. Something is present, then it ends with 1. Certain string is present, or it can also be blank. So that we should remember. So initially, if we consider it as epsilon as the starting part, so epsilon dot 0 is nothing but 0. So 0 is also ending with 0. String ending with 1. Suppose we get 0, 0. This is also string ending with 0. Suppose we get 0, 1. This is a string ending with 1. So here another or is present. So that also we need to consider. So it will be 0 plus 1 the whole star will give us any combination from 0 to infinity dot 0. It is ending with 0 or 0 plus 1 the whole star dot 1. It is ending with 1. So any combination of zeros and ones, and in the end we'll have either 0 or 1. So this is the regular expression that will give us that will cover the set of all strings ending with either 0 or 1. Next is set of all strings that start with xy and end with yx. So this is comparatively simpler. Start with xy, so we'll have xy, and end with yx. So in the end, we'll have yx. And in between, we can have any combination of x and y. So the regular expression will be starting with xy dot x plus y the whole star dot yx. So here we will get, if x plus y the whole star is epsilon, we'll get xy, yx. If we get a x here, we'll get xyx followed by yx. Then xy, y followed by yx, and so on. But there is a catch here. What is the catch? Starting with xy and ending with yx. So there is a string which does not get covered. So that you will have to include. Starting with xy and ending with yx. Xyx is a string. It is starting with xy and ending with yx. So this case is not getting covered. So when there is an overlapping that happens, you have to cover this as well. So you have to be careful with these type of problems. Now next problem, set of all strings start with x triple y and end with triple yx over summation equal to x comma y. So summation is given as x comma y. So this is the input given. So here again we should be careful as there is overlapping that is going to happen. So first we'll write with x triple y. It is starting with x triple y. In between we'll get any combination of x and y, and then it is ending with triple yx. But we may have here an overlapping. So it will be x triple y followed by x. So three y's. But here there are three terms that we need to take care. So here overlapping of three y's is happening. Suppose there is overlapping of two y's. So that time we'll have four y's in between. So overlapping of two y's from here and here. So xy and yx will be more added to it. There is overlapping of single y. So x double y in between followed by double yx. So these also we will have to consider. And based on that, we will get the strings that could be generated. So we can have x triple y x, x 4 times y x, and so on. So many more strings that could be present. So we need to be careful with such type of questions. Last one, regular expressions for set of all strings that start and end with a different symbol, where summation is equal to 0 comma 1. So it is starting and ending with a different symbol. So suppose it starts with 0, it can have anything in between followed by 1. Or it is starting with 1, it will end with 0. So this we have to consider. So regular expression will consist of 0 dot, in between we can have any combination that is given by 0 plus 1 the whole star followed by 1, or we can have 1, any combination of zeros and 1 in between followed by 0. So which all strings will get generated? If it is epsilon comes in between, we'll get minimum 0 1 followed by 1 0. Then we can have 0 0 1. We can have 1 0 0 and so on. Many more strings can come. So again, we should be careful whenever we are writing regular expressions so that we can cover all the different cases. So here it is starting with starting and ending with different symbol. So there is no overlapping here. I hope so it is clear.